Jake Paul may have lost on Sunday against Tommy Fury in a decision that wasn't really a split. Where'd my iPad go? Like I was saying, Jake Paul may have lost a decision to Tommy Fury, but don't worry, Jake Paul. We still have some hope. He has an immediate rematch clause that he will most likely go through with, and we will get to see this fight again. But what can Jake Paul do to win the Tommy Fury rematch? Let's take a look. It was pretty obvious, even going into the fight, that Jake Paul was going to have to find a way to counter, or just avoid in general, the jab of Tommy Fury. If you can see, this isn't the best angle, but Tommy Fury has these extremely long, gangly arms. His elbow goes like past his hip when his arm is just down. So that is something that Tommy was going to have on Jake, that reach advantage and that jab, very quick jab. So Jake was going to have to deal with that somehow. So countering it with the overhand right was obviously something that they were working on, but also countering it with the left hook. So we'll look at many examples of this, but we'll see how Jake can maybe tighten up some of his form to do more impact with these counters and be more successful with them. But before that, we get into some good work here from Jake. Feigning up top, not really feigning, just kind of touching the glove and then going to the body with the jab. Tommy is pretty much always going to back up in straight lines. So jabbing to the body is a good idea. You just can't telegraph it too much. Maybe tighten up this hand, which is way out there. Maybe just keep it tight so you can't get checked with left hook. Definitely not do the chicken wing when you jab to the body, but the jab to the body would be a good thing for him to employ. And here's that jab to the body again, and look what Tommy tries to do. Counter with the check left hook, but Jake gets out of the way, but his hand is still way out here. So maybe just tightening up, keeping your hand close to your face, defending your face. Just kind of obvious fundamental things that he should improve on. And here is one of the ways that Jake was looking to counter the jab. Tommy feinting the jab, gets the reaction, because he doesn't actually throw that jab, but he feints it and then goes in for the jab. So once he feints it, that is going to trigger Jake immediately to slip inside and try to throw the overhand right over the top. And this is one of his favorite punches. I'm thinking of the Nate Robinson fight, just kind of backing up and going like that. But one thing that Jake struggles with is keeping his eyes on the opponent when he throws his counters. Like, he's looking away and just kind of hoping that the right hand will land. But if you can slip, keep your eyes on your opponent, and throw less of a wide overhand counter here, you could have a better chance of landing it. Just slipping inside and not bringing it straight arm all the way out. Just slip inside and kind of loop it over the top. It's tough to kind of show, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Just a little tighter, and keeping your eyes on your opponent is obviously going to help with the accuracy and just the placement of the shot in general. So that is something that he has to work on, and you'll see it constantly with all of his counters, basically. So this is another way that Jake was countering the jab. He hadn't thrown his check left hook yet. That will appear in the later rounds, but watch him get on the outside instead of on the inside this time of Tommy's jab. Jake just times it, ducks low, and this is something that he was favoring a lot, ducking low off to his right side. Are you serious right now? It's kind of a safe spot that boxers just go to, because it's hard to really tag someone with something when you're down in that pocket. You can't hit them with a left head kick, obviously. So here, he ducks, he slips to the outside and then ducks under and throws the right hand. And this is not a great angle, as this referee, who's kind of a bombaklat, was standing in the way. And Jake lands a clean right hand here on Tommy, as Tommy's trying to time Jake as he's down here. Like, he's trying to throw these right hands down here, but Jake throws the right hand over the top and lands it good. But Tommy eats it and continues going. Again, the same thing with Jake. His eyes are nowhere near the target. Like, he's just got his head down and throwing the overhand to hope. So this is getting away. Jake, near the end of the first round, kind of eats the jab, but he's trying to slip to the outside and land a jab of zone, which just misses. But this is another great counter to Tommy's jab. Tommy will always have his rear hand here when he jabs. Not something that you'd advertise for amateur boxers, but there are a lot of good boxers with the hands down style. Jabbing, and his hand will always be down here. So check left hooks, you will see coming from Jake in a little bit here, but jabs work too. Slipping on the outside and just jabbing with the jabber can be very effective. You've seen it in Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes 1. Amanda Nunes was completely stumped by the dipping jab of Juliana Pena, and it wasn't a good dipping jab. Her elbow was like way up here, and Juliana Pena throws punches like this, right? So if you can slip on the outside and throw a tight jab, that could be very effective on the counter. So I think Jake needs to work on those counters to the jab, get a guy in his camp who has a very long reach, very quick jab. That should be his main priority. I'm sure it was already, but just sharpening those things up. And again, not looking at the target. He's probably not looking at the target here. It's hard to say. It's a little less exaggerated than before, but just keeping your eye on the target when you're countering. And here, Jake getting on the pressure. He does a good job of backing Tommy up against the ropes after he throws body shots. So he had just thrown a right straight to the body, and Tommy was kind of circling to his left against the ropes. So again, like I was saying, jabbing to the body is good for damage, kind of, but for ring craft, definitely, when Tommy is going to always back up in straight lines. So here, Tommy jabs off of the ropes, and he jabs again, and Jake avoids both of them, and Tommy is going to be circling to his left when he jabs. This is something that we knew beforehand, and Jake is ducking underneath, again, head down, but what is coming? This overhand. So, oof. It misses. It's hard to see where it misses. Tough to know, but again, his head is down here, so how is he going to try to land a punch with accuracy when he's not even looking at it? He's just guessing. Jake getting on the pressure again and jabbing to the body, and is underneath the left hook counter that I was talking about. His hand is a little closer to his face here. It's not fully chicken winged, but still not tight. And that right hand, Tommy looks to uncork it. Thinks about it, but Jake's kind of retracting, so that would have been a tough punch to land. That would have required really good accuracy from Tommy to land that. And here's the first time that Jake counters the jab with the left hook, and it lands immediately. So watch Jake slip, and look, his eyes are on the target here. Boom. That's how it's done. But the left hook isn't thrown the best that it can be. It's kind of a slappy left hook. He should watch some videos of Alex Pereira and try to get, obviously, Alex Pereira has the greatest left hook in MMA and maybe striking history. Joe Frazier is up there, obviously Mike Tyson. But that left hook is a slappy one. He lands it kind of like with the elbow straight and in a bad angle. If you can slip inside and throw that thing tight, and kind of like an uppercut. There's a great video by the Weasel breaking down Alex Pereira's left hook, and obviously Alex Pereira physically is extremely gifted, and that's a part of the reason why the power is unbelievable on it, but it's the technique. He throws it so technically perfect. Like Alex Pereira and Sugar Ray Robinson throw the left hook the same way. It's kind of like uppercut. Go watch that full video for the full breakdown, but maybe Jake Paul should watch that video and work on that left hook, because that left hook will be a very good counter. Slipping to the outside and landing it, and even slipping inside and then coming back with the left hook. Famous Alex Pereira knockout is running in my head on that one, but these left hooks are always going to be there because of Tommy's hand being down. So if you can tighten up that left hook, land it more accurately, he's got the eyes on the target, which is way better than his other counters, but if you can tighten up that left hook and land it properly with good torque and power, that could be an issue for Tommy. And here he tries it again. Tommy leaps in with the jab, and it wasn't really getting close to landing. Jake had to just subtly move out the way, and he steps in with the left hook, and Tommy just narrowly gets out of the way of that one, but still, pretty straight-armed, and not thrown technically perfect. So, and obviously, no one really throws left hooks that technically perfect, but if you can try, why not? Here, again, countering the jab, slipping on the outside, and jabbing for himself. That is going to be his best offense. Pressure and counter jabs. That's got to be his, like, whole thing. Like, not him only throwing counter jabs, but just countering the jab in general in different ways. And mixing it up, not doing the same one and becoming predictable, where Tommy can read you and double jab into right hands if you're slipping on the outside constantly. Double, boom, boom, and then right hand. I think he does end up doing that. Slipping to the inside sometimes and going with left hooks to the body. You need to just become a master of countering the jab. That needs to be the whole focus when you're fighting a guy like Tommy Fury with the long reach in the Fury family. Loves to, I put my hand up. That's not how it is. Just jabbing and that counter ability. He's got the ability to be countered is what I'm getting at. Here, same thing. A different way of countering the jab. Jake slips inside, overhand right, just misses. And again, it's going to be a repeating thing. I'm probably going to wrap it up because if you made it this far, I'm just repeating the same shit. He's ducking down when he's countering. If he can look where he's countering, the shots will become more accurate and therefore more devastating. So keeping your eyes up when you're countering, that's basically it. But let's get to the final round here. So like I was saying, the same sort of thing plays out throughout the fight. Tommy being more active with the jab, starting to double jab and put right hands behind it, more active with the combos, threw way more strikes, and Jake was kind of just looking for that one counter. But he was landing counters, they just weren't the most effective because of some of his lack in fundamentals, like ducking his head down, not looking at the punch and straight arming it, and yeah, like the main thing is not looking at it. If you're not looking at the counter, how do you expect to land it properly in the spot that you want it to without just kind of getting lucky? So we get into the 8th round. Tommy Fury is definitely winning the fight just on output and volume. And then watch this. Jake jabs with the jabber. Doesn't really slip on the outside. Kind of just turns his head with this jab, but times it beautifully. And this is a slip, because Tommy slips on this lead foot. But the reason he slips is because he got hit. So it's technically considered a knockdown. It's not a true, like, wobbled and you're down, knockdown, but it's a slip from a really good counter jab, dipping jab, that Jake should definitely employ more, mixed with other jab counters. That gets the knockdown, and will definitely be something that Jake talks about going into this second fight. That will probably happen. And if you made it to the end of it, video, thank you for watching. And if you are a Jake Pauler, don't worry, we can win it. I don't know why I'm playing the Jake Pauler role. It's just kind of fun. I feel like some people will be pissed off about it. And I'm gonna make the title something, bro, this is ridiculous. Something clickbaity like, why Jake Paul will dominate in the rematch. Boom. That's the title. Will he dominate in the rematch? Probably not. But if he can learn to counter the jab more effectively and tighten up some of those fundamentals, he will definitely have a better chance. Thank you for watching. I don't know why the screen turned black.